So one form of the equation of a line is slope-intercept form. And with slope-intercept form, the m tells us the slope of the line, and the b value tells us the y-intercept. Tells us where that line crosses the y-axis. So with those two things, you can write the equation of the line. Another form of the equation of the line is called point-slope form. Point-slope form. And in order to use point-slope form, guess what you have to have? A point on the line and the slope of the line. Like that. Y minus y1 equals x, m times x minus x1. And with this equation, can you guess what m is? Right, good, yes. It's the slope of the line. And then x1, y1 is a point on the line. So x1, y1 is a point on the line. So there's point slope form. Then there's one more. Do you remember this one? The book doesn't call it useless standard form. I do. The book calls it just plain old standard form. I call it useless standard form. And useless standard form looks like this. AX plus BY equals C. There it is. X and Y on one side of the equation, and the plain old number value is on the other side. And the thing about slope-intercept form, when you look at it, you can get the slope of the line and you can tell where it crosses the y-axis. Same thing with point-slope form. You can get some information about the line just by having the equation. It tells you the slope, and it also will give you a point that's on the line. Useless standard form. When you have standard form given to you, it doesn't tell you anything about the line. Not only that, there's a bunch of rules. No fractions, no decimals. A, B, C, all must be whole numbers. A must be positive. Has to start off with a positive there. If it doesn't, then you have to multiply by -1 and make everything positive. And the third rule, A, B, C cannot have common factors. What does that mean? That means if the equation is 2x plus 6y equals 10, that's not in proper standard form. What goes into 2, 6, and 10? 2, right? So if they have a common factor, you have to divide them all by 2 then and get x plus 3y equals 5. That's the proper standard form. But it has to go into all of those. If you had something like this, it doesn't go. This would be proper form because 2 doesn't go into all 3 of those. In order to reduce it, the value has to go into all 3, A, B, and C. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So here's what we're going to do with all of that. We're going to write the equation of a line in standard form. In standard useless form, write the equation of the line that goes through the point 4, -3 and has slope equal to -2/5. Write equation of line. And then in between here, going through the point for -3 and having the slope of -2/5. How are we going to write the equation of the line? And I'll tell you right off the bat, it says to write it in standard form, but you can't start with what's given there and plug it right into standard form. What you're going to have to do is take that information and plug it into one of these two. Which one do you think we should use? Slope intercept or point slope? What do we know? And? Do we know the y-intercept? We know a point. We know a point on the line, and we know the slope. So what do you think we should do? If we know a point on the line, and we know the slope, which one do you think we should use? If we know a point and the slope, which one do you think? Point slope. Oh, very good. We should use the point slope. We know a point, we know the slope. So if I were doing this, I would start by writing this down. You know what? Too many of the Algebra 2 students just try to start plugging numbers in. They don't write anything down. They just start to try to write the answer right off the bat. I wouldn't do that. I would write down m equals -2/5. Here's my point. This is x, this is y. That's your x1 and y1. And remember that no matter what, do you see these? Most equations for lines are going to have an x and a y in them. Going to have an x and a y in them. So this regular old x and this regular old y, they stay there. They're going to stay. And all we're going to do is plug in, what's the slope? 2/5. And my x1 and y1, 4, -3. So just plug those in. What is y1? What is y1? -3. Slope is -2/5. What's x? 1, 4. Boy, that's easy, right? We'll fix that up a little bit. Y plus 3, negative 2/5. If we could leave it in point slope form, if we could just leave it in point slope form, that would be good. But it says we need to write it in standard form. That means get it to look like something x plus something y equals some number. Oh. Well, we could do this. I don't know what to do. How about if we put a 1 under there and multiply that out? I don't know. You think that will work? Or do you have a better suggestion? Top times top? Bottom times bottom? Top times top. It's negative times negative? Bottom times bottom? Now we're going to need to get all the x's on the same side. So the x and y on the same side. We're going to need to get the x and y, like over here, x and y on the same side, number term on the other. So I would add 2/5 x. And what do you get? 2/5 x plus y plus 3 equals 8/5. Now what? We have all the x and y together. Minus 3. 2/5 x plus 1y equals. What are you going to need over there if you're going to put those together? They're fractions. What do you need if you're going to combine fractions? Common denominator. What's the common denominator going to be? What do I multiply by on bottom? 5. So what do I multiply by on top? And get 15. That's what she said. 15. So now I have 8/5 and negative 15/5. What's 8 and negative 15? Negative 7/5. Look at that. We have the x and y on one side. We have the number on the other. Am I done? Why not, Alex?
You have fractions.
Yes, we have fractions in there. And this useless standard form says they have to be whole numbers. A, B, and C have to be whole numbers. But we should be able to get rid of that. Multiply everything, both sides, by 5. And when you do that, you're going to get 10 over 5 x. This one's just going to be 5y, right? Equals negative 35 over 5. And then if you go back and reduce those, what's 10 over 5 right here? 2x, 5y, 35 over 5 is 7. So there we go. Let's just check over here. A, B, and C whole numbers? Yes. Is the first one the x coefficient, is that positive? Yes, it's positive 2. And do A, B, and C have any common factors? Is there any number that goes into all of 2, 5, and -7? No. So I think we're good. So you can do that, right? And most of this was just like algebra-ish, just trying to rearrange it, right? It's not really anything new. Anybody with questions? Guess what I have? I have another one. Oh, settle down now, settle down. How about this? Find the equation of a line in standard form that goes through the points 1, -2, and do they all have to have fractions? I make it 1, -3 and 5, 1. Let's try that one. 1, -3 and 5, 1. Can you see up above there where it says find the equation of a line in standard form if it contains the points 1 and -3? See where it says that? In my shorthand up there, find the equation of a line. I think we have a problem. Point. Here we had point slope, and so we had point slope form to plug it into. And I have slope intercept form. Down there, though, I have a point and another point. Do you see over here point form? Uh-oh. Now what? Looks like we don't have the, so what are we gonna do? Oh, right. That's what we did yesterday. Find the slope. Yes. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Remember the formula? Because I erased it. Y2 minus Y1. X2 minus X1. What's Y2? 1. Take away. What's Y1? -3. And bottom X2 is 5. Take away 1. So 1 plus 3. 4 on top. Hey, look at that. Oh, yippee skippy. The slope is 1. Now what are we going to do? I don't have slope point form. Now what? We got the slope. Both forms over there need the slope. But what are we going to do? Yes, right. We're going to use the point slope form. We're going to use point slope form. Oops. There's the R. How will we know which point to use in there? Well, it doesn't actually matter. No matter what, you should be able to plug in both of these and get the right equation. So since this one already has labeled x1 and y1, let's use that one. Y, take away, what's y1? -3. Our slope was 1. What's x1? So I get y plus 3 equals, that's just going to be x take away 1. Now what? We have to get the x and y all on the same side. So how about if I minus x? -x plus y plus 3 equals -1. What was that? -x plus y plus 3 equals 1. I have x and y on the same side now. Get rid of that. Oops, I screwed up. See that? It's a -1. I screwed up. It's a -1. Good thing I caught it now, though. So we have x and y on the same side. We need to get rid of that plus 3. So what do? Right, good, yes, we're going to subtract it. -x plus y equals -4. Done?
No,
Well,
X has to be.
very good. We're not done because x has to be positive. So what should we do? Yes, we're going to multiply everything all through by -1. And when you do that, that just amounts to change the sign, change the sign, change the sign. Right there, x minus y equals 4. A little bit easier when you don't have all those fractions. Oh, excuse me. Makes sense? Do you have any questions? Are there any questions? Holy caramba. I have 1 to 25, the odds. Holy moly. Oh, I guess it's not that bad.
We saw our assignment from.
Oh,
yesterday.
right. How about if we just pick a few? I'll pick a few.
No.
Okay, so page 121. Yeah, because you still have that assignment from yesterday. I have WE, we'll go numbers. 1, 3, 7. 1, 3, 7. I'll pick one. If you look at 13 to 18, those you just plug them into slope-intercept form. They give you the slope, they give you the intercept. So then you're just going to plug into this one and rearrange it, right? So that shouldn't be too difficult. I'll just give you one of those. How about 13? And then a couple at the end where you have to find the slope. How about 21, 23? How about 21 and 23? 21, 23. Good enough? And if you don't think you have it well enough just doing those, Make sure you do a few more odds for practice. I just give you the minimum. So, and I don't think you need graph paper. There's nothing to graph.